We are fixing goulash. So I have my water on right here. I'm going to be using some kales. So I'll go ahead and show you that. It is a 1 pound package. So I'm going to be putting them in there. In the water in just a minute. I've got 2 cans of diced tomatoes that I'll be using. And I'm also going to use a little bit of tomato, but you can use tomato juice. And we will be adding some more water to thin that out. So what I've got is my hamburger meat. I probably won't use all of this, but I'm going to put the hamburger meat in this one. It's already been heating, and I'm going to also be putting some onion in there in just a minute. And we're going to do this in real time, no speeding up, so you know how long it takes to do it. We've got our hamburger meat going to go in. And like I said, I'm not going to use all of it. I will still have some left for maybe some hamburgers or something else. So you might get tired of the once a week spaghetti. When my children were growing up, we would have spaghetti at least once a week. So now that I'm older, we like goulash. And I used to fix goulash even at home when the kids were growing up. So this is a favorite. I'm going to go ahead and get those shells cut open and put them in the water as our water is ready. And I'm using this flat pan because that will cook up a little quicker. Alright, we got our ground beef already heating in the skillet. I'm going to go ahead and grab an onion. I have a small piece of onion right here from the other night. We had hamburgers. And I'm just going to take the paper off of this and just start cutting it up and putting it right in with the hamburger. And I'll decide if I'm going to use a little bit more after I get this cut up. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm just going to cut my onion up in cubes. Alright, and then you start It is thundering here. We've had some storms today. And it is already fall. So I'm getting excited. We're not really to the first day of fall yet, but it has cooled off here. You know, needing a jacket sometimes in the morning. And then by the afternoon, you're ready to change out to that short sleeve. I'm going to leave the core. I don't want that real thick part of that onion in my goulash. But I'm going to try to use as much as I can of this onion. I think a little bit went over here. I keep picking up a shell, y'all. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's good enough. I'll leave that. We'll go ahead and start opening our cans while that is cooking up. We'll go ahead and get this mixed around a little bit. I think that's going to be enough onion for us. All right. Go ahead and get our cans open right now and open this jar of tomato, and I'm probably going to mix it with a little water. I may do that in a glass and taste it and see if it's more like tomato juice, because I don't have tomato juice right now. So if you've been cooking a long time, you just go ahead and make do. And we are going to make do with what we already have. Alright, let's get us another spoon. Let's go with a little, well no, we need a spoon, not a spatula. Do another one here and stir this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and probably add just a little bit more water, because those noodles soaked that water up. All right. I've turned up my eyes to high because this does not take forever to fix. I have to tap my lid over here. I can't get it undone. All right. I'm showing you what I'm doing. I'm just taking some, it's just strained tomatoes. So I don't have any tomato juice. So I'm going to put this probably, we're going to start out with probably like 4 teaspoons. 4 teaspoons. 4 teaspoons, and then I will add a good 8 ounces and see how tomatoey or how not tomatoey enough that will be. Alright y'all, I decided to put 6. I'm going to put 6 teaspoons and then add about 8 ounces. And I can always add more water to my goulash in a minute. But if you got tomato juice, that's what my mom always did. So that looks a little thin to me. So we'll be adding some more. I'm going to put probably 2 more, which will bring us up to 8 teaspoons. And then I've got those 2 cans of diced tomatoes that I'll be adding. That's some good stuff. All right, it's going to be done in a few minutes. This will probably feed, I'm going to say 6 to 8 people. But it is fall or getting close to it. And it is time to start making the chilies and maybe have the goulash more. Just gonna start bringing back all of those things that we've missed, because we just don't have the appetite for this during the summer months. Now, I top this. You can top it with sour cream if you want to, and some shredded cheese, or just put shredded cheese on it. And serve it with a side salad if you want to, or just by itself. It's going to be just fine. Alright, I'm going to add just a little bit more water. And it's alright if these don't get all the way done, to go ahead and start transferring them over to that bigger pot. And let that cook for a few more minutes. We want to drain our grease off of the hamburger. Alright, y'all, it's smelling really good. And the onions are already cooked down. So I'm going to take me a paper towel and just get a little bit of that grease off. And then we're going to put our goulash together. I'm going to go ahead and add this. It would be tomato juice, but I didn't have any. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 cans of diced tomatoes. And I'm not taking any of that tomato off, the tomato juice off. Leave it on there. And if you have Italian diced tomatoes, that's just fine. That's what I've got, and that's what I'm using. And I guess if you wanted to add a vegetable, you could, but we don't. Or I have not done that. Doesn't mean that you can't. It's your house, and you're the one eating it. Do whatever you want to. But I'm going to leave that on the stove for probably another 15 minutes. It is smelling yummy. Alright, these are good enough for my liking. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and turn that eye off. If you want to rinse your noodles, you go ahead and do that. But because they're going to be cooking in that too, there's not much water in my pan anyway. I'm just going to drain them just like this. And throw them on in there. I want to see how that is. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add a few more. But I may not use all of these. And if I don't, that's okay. But it was a 16-pound package. I guess if you had an 8 ounce, 16 ounce. If I said pounds, I hope I didn't say pounds, but 16 ounce. You could you could make with less. You could do with less. I'm going to put one more scoop. I know how we all eat. If I get down to hardly any, I may go ahead and add it and just add more tomato. Alright, so we've still got plenty of juice. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. You do want it a little thick. You don't want it like soup. You want it chunky. And I believe that's going to be just fine right there. Add your little salt and pepper. Salt is pouring out pretty good. We're going to use a different pepper shaker. There we go. And that's it, y'all. That is it. So it is going to cook for probably a good 10 more minutes. Let me go ahead and put a little bit in a bowl for you so you can see the consistency. Now, I probably will taste it in a minute and see what the tomato taste. I want it tomatoey. So I may end up using a little bit more of the tomato paste. Can you see that? How thick it is? That's how you want it. Just like that. Hope you've enjoyed the video in cooking goulash with Sister Mary. We'll be back next time right here for more cooking and more homesteading things on Homesteading Haven.